So I have my sage dye kit. These peels, it may look a bit weird that it's peeling up, but that's actually really great because they come up with like no effort, so you get to reuse the box, which is important to me. So we have in here a Savia. We have Sage Officinalis Natural Dye Kit from Apple Oak Fibre Works. Apparently this makes yellow moss greens. It's 100 to 300 of wool and silk fibers, which we have. This is actually the Apple Oaks Fibre Works sock base. It's 60% wool, 20% silk, 20% Ramy, and it's stunning and it dyes up really nice. I have all my dedicated dye equipment, so we shall open this up. Apparently it includes organic sage leaves, alum, iron, and the instructions booklet. So the instruction booklet is great. My favorite is they include a little fun fact on the back. And yeah, this is basically the dye recipe. You can buy these alone with PDS, or you can get the entire kit that I got here. They all come in these really nice bags. These make excellent project bags, by the way. And it makes me want to buy their cotton dye kit so that I can dye all my bags. But anytime you give me like a bag or a stitch marker, I'm all in. So, what this one comes with is organic sage, and then they put the colors it gives you, 100 grams. It also comes with 30 grams of alum mordant and 5 grams of iron mordant. So I'm a bit worried because it says very specifically that you shouldn't use iron on silk, I think. Or am I making that up in my head? Iron makes fiber. Don't leave longer than 15 minutes in your iron bath. Well, in any case, we're just going to do it and see what happens, as is my thing. So last time I did one of their kits, I did elderberry, and what I did was I did one skein. I dyed both skeins. I put one in the modifier, and then I did one in the dye bath after half and half. I'm just going to do 300 grams because that's what the kit calls for, even though I think you can do more. So maybe when I get my garden going, I'll see how much, because I'm growing sage, so I'll see how much I can actually dye with their recipe. But with this nice yarn, I only have enough to do 3 skeins per kit because that's what I ordered. So we're going to get going. First I have to mordant this yarn, and that is, I don't think I have to soak the dye or anything. The last one I did with the elderberries, I had to boil them, but I don't think I need to do that for this. I think it's just a very chill. So, or maybe I do. I don't know. I'm going to read the instructions because that's probably the best first step. But anyway, yeah, that's what comes in the kit. So I'll see you when it's time to mordant. I also have to clean up the kitchen, which I don't want to do, but I never do. So there you go. Okay, so I should be wearing gloves for this, but oh well. No, so I'm pushing it in. Sometimes with wool you need to add a bit of pressure to kind of get it wet because it doesn't take water. And this is dry wool, so you know how it is. One time I do want to try doing like a lot of mordanting, and oh, I'm putting the wool in the mordant if you're wondering what I'm doing. Yeah, I want to try like doing a lot of pre-mordanting and then letting things dry and seeing if that'll work. But in any case, there's still a lot of room for this to float around. And yeah, and then we're just gonna leave it for, I'm gonna do an hour and 15 minutes because it was a little low summer and obviously I've cooled it down now. So yeah, probably gonna leave an hour, 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm just adding the sage now. This smells amazing. And this is kind of what it looks like. So it's cut up a bit, kind of crumbled. It definitely looks like dried sage. Yeah, and then we have to boil this. So yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't know, I'm always curious about this stuff. Yeah, it just looks like dried sage, but it looks a bit more like clumpy. I don't know, probably because there's no like weird agents in there to anti-clump. But anyway, yes, that's what you're getting. Oh my god, it smells so good. I'm kind of doing these in order of like things with only one modifier to start to get me used to it. And then based on what I think will smell good. Because I'm a bit concerned about this. Because some of the packages I smelled them and I'm like, oh, I don't know. But anyway, yes, that's the sage. Okay, it's been some time and look at that. There's definitely color there. I know with acid dyes, you can kind of take a piece of paper towel and, I mean, it's just yellow, so interesting. But now I need to try to get some of the sage out. So last time I attempted to just lay my cheesecloth, and again, dedicated dye cheesecloth just over my measuring cup. But this time I'm going to try it this way with my catering pan. I don't know if this is going to work better or worse. There's definitely not enough room in there for all this water. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm okay with a little bit of vegetable matter in my yarn. I'm not selling it. This is just for me. So yeah, we shall see how this goes. Oh, hello neighbor, looking in my kitchen window, watching me talk to myself. Fab. Okay, so that system went as well as I thought it would. So I have the remains of that, but it just made basically a big mess. So then I decided I'd give my like an a ring, because you want to be very gentle with, especially this isn't super washable, so you want to be very gentle with your wool, but I kind of gave it a squeeze to remove most of the excess water. I have it sitting on some paper towels to kind of absorb. And hint with stuff like this, with paper towels, where it's not for food and stuff, if you let them dry out, they absorb again. So not a big deal, I can reuse those for the rest of the day. And then I rinsed out my bucket, and so now what I'm doing is I'm doing this system I did last time, but I'm pouring the dye in the bucket instead of back in the dye pot, so I'm not going to get a bunch of stuff in the bottom. And if you're like, Sandy, why don't you just buy the sieve that they say to buy? It's because the Euro shops aren't open up yet, so I either need to go somewhere, the ones I found are like really expensive, so you know, I'm in Ireland, so I'm waiting for things to open up. Editing, Sandy. It's been over 2 months since everything has opened up in Ireland, and I have still yet to buy a dedicated dye sieve. I will one day, maybe. Probably not. Okay, so yeah, that worked about 1,000 times better. So now I'm going to put our mordant and yarn in. I have the dye bag in there. I'm a bit concerned about the dye bag, though, because I don't see how, like, that will, ooh, hello, keep those really tiny pieces of sage in. But whatever. So I'm doing the same method I did last time because I think it is good to see what kind of, how this dips after. Look at that. It's not really showing up on camera, but it's definitely like a browny yellow. So I'm going to get that in there. Yeah, like it's yellow, like a chick yellow. But not like a pigeon baby, because those are really, pigeon chicks are really, really ugly. Okay, so like a chicken chick in a storybook. So now I have to heat this up again and keep it hot at 85 degree, 80? I have to keep it hot at some sort of degree for an hour. So, and again, dedicated dye thermometer. I'm sorry if anybody gets like really nauseated by my footage. I don't have a really professional setup. I'm just kind of doing this because I want to see what these things are like, so I know someone else probably does. But yeah, I need to get it up to 85 degrees, which is not quite a boil, so there we go, there it is. The color is, so this is the importance of the zip ties, I can just grab those. Is it coming up? Yeah, it's coming up a bit better now, so it's definitely got some color. But yeah, I'll check back in an hour. I'm very excited by this. Okay, so this kit's almost finished, sort of. We have to just, I'm gonna leave it to cool for a while. You know, I gotta make dinner, so yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna put it in the iron and see what happens, and put the other one in. Okay, so we just had dinner, and we did have a couple glasses of wine, so sorry if things get a little bit silly, and Adam's gonna be helping me. So if you see him on camera, just leave a comment telling him how good he looks. So anyway, we have this. This has been sitting for a while now, cold. It's a bit more green in person than it's showing up on camera, but it is a very like mustardy color, which I'm into. One of these is going to get washed as is. I'm going to bring this back up to temp and put another one in, and then prep the iron solution to see what happens when we do that. Okay. Okay, so I have the mask on just in case. This is green. Adam is nodding like that's normal. Can you hold the camera, please? You should really be wearing a mask, FYI. They didn't say if it's necessary to wear a mask while doing this, but I don't like to take chances. So they just say this is iron mordant. I don't exactly know what it is. So, actually keep holding it, this is really good. So, this needs to be warm. and it looks like a bit of it's steaming, so I think mission accomplished. I'm going to add a bit more water. Does that look dissolved to you?
Let's scratch some of it off the bottom there. Yeah, recording.
Okay, so I don't know if the other bit recorded, but in any case, I popped the iron in here, and now we are adding a bit of water. I'm going to dissolve it. It says it has to be warm, so I have the 2 burners on, but I did just add some cold water. Cosa?
I was going to put my finger in and see how warm it was.
I don't think you're allowed to touch this with your finger, so please don't play the settings on the camera. So
I have to zoom it.
I'm taking both of these out. It's not hot, like I just put my finger in there and didn't die, but it's not cooled completely by any stretch of the imagination. So what is this now? Okay, so one of these, who should do this? One of these is just going to get rinsed. This guy, the third skein I mordanted, is going to be a half and half. So that's going in for the second dip to see what happens when we second dip this. And this is going into here for 15 minutes. Hey Google, can you please set a timer for 15 minutes, please?
I think you want to set a timer for 15 minutes.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. And it can't stay more than 15 minutes. So...
Okay, 15 minutes.
There you go.
And that's
So,
starting
I'll
now.
let you know what happens in 15 minutes, and I'm going to rinse this skein out.
Stop.
Okay, so now my yarn needs to oxidize for 15 minutes, and then I need to give it a little rinse out, and then, yeah, so we'll see what happens. This one has gone in. It's a second dip. It's looking kind of the same. I mean, the fact of the matter is they say this is for 100 to 300 grams of fiber, and I think I might have said it earlier, but I really do want to one day rebuy everything, or when I have stuff for my garden, like especially this one, I'm growing sage. I always grow a lot of sage because I eat a lot of sage. But yeah, I would really like to see just how much one of the recipes can dye, because yeah, I always feel a bit guilty like throwing away dye, but I don't have a lot of yarn. I bought all their kits, but I only bought 3 skeins per kit because that's what it said it did. So yeah, it's more the mordant that I'm worried about. But anyway, I'm excited for this green. It's a very beautiful, like, dark olive that I think will look quite nice on my skin. So yeah, we'll see how this goes after 15 minutes, what it does. Okay, so we're about halfway through the time here. I did the last skein for 15 minutes and I really like the color, so I'm thinking I might do this. But yeah, this is how we're going. It's exciting. I also managed to get all my sage in my compost. Honestly, I'm like super obsessed with compost. I don't know, it's just so amazing to think that all the things that you like throw away become the things that make things new. And also, apparently Apple Oak Fibre Works is as obsessed with compost as I am. And they have a wormery there. So yeah, and apparently they're closed right now, obviously because of COVID, and Ireland's opening up is really slow. But if they're back on track by August, I think I know what we're doing for my birthday. Hint, hint to Adam, who just walked in. I'm out of one plant. Sage. So, yeah, so this is my final results. I have the 2 from the first dip and then the second dip half and half. What can I say about this? I love the colors, first off. And I think this one, more than in the elderberry, you can really see a difference between the 2, like, dips. Because this is a very different yellow than the first one. I think this one's a bit richer, a bit more mustardy, whereas this one is a bit brighter, a bit more chartreuse-esque. And even in the greens, you can definitely tell a bigger difference between for this first dip. So that's really interesting. Another thing, I do think I felted this yarn just a little bit. So I know that the iron naturally makes yarn brittle, fiber brittle, and it said not to use it with silk, and this, I mean, I figured it's only 20% silk, like it's fine. So I went ahead and did it anyway, and it's like great, it's usable. I still think this is gonna make an excellent, durable, hard-wearing sock. However, I think I should have probably cold mordanted this, because I think cold mordanting is a bit more gentle on the fiber. So that's my big takeaway for next time. All up though, this is an excellent kit. It made the house smell fantastic. That's kind of the way I'm picking the ones, because I actually bought all of these. All the ones for wool and silk at least. And yeah, I'm kind of picking them based on which ones I think smell really good. So yeah, that is kind of the vibe. What on earth has Baxter done to that room? But then there's that. Anyway, yeah, that's not important. The yarn is important. Yeah, so this is the kind of vibe of it, and I think it turned out really well. Like I said, I'm 100% happy with this. I would recommend it to anybody. Yeah, these kits are great. It comes with everything you need. It's plastic free, which I cannot kind of say how good that is enough, because so many of these things, everything comes in something plastic. But the fact that things are like compostable and it's really environmentally friendly, and you get colors that are just as nice as acid dyes. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna not acid dye, but yeah, like these are just as beautiful. And honestly, I think kind of that natural dyes complement the skin better. Actually, I have these two here. You know what I mean? Like, I think they just look a bit nicer on humans. Maybe not that one for me, but yeah. So, I don't know. All up, I'm very excited for these socks. Yeah, Sage, definitely do it if you're thinking about natural dye. This is the way to go. Okay, bye. Oh, if you want to keep hanging out with me, you know what to do. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you later.